Hello students, in this class we are going to see interactive programs. So this is in module 5, building interactive program. Under interactive program we have already studied few commands. So can you recall what are the commands? Mouse, keyboard, reshape, all three are interactive commands. Menu and picking are interactive command. Display list, by using display list you can write some interactive program. So now under this topic a brief discussion of all those things we will see now. So the objective of this topic is we are going to learn to build more sophisticated interactive program. What is interactive program? Normally with websites or any app we are interacting, we are giving input, we are getting some response. So input, output, interactions are there, but in OpenGL not much interactions we have, very less interactions are there. These are the three topic under interactive program we can see, that is picking, rubber banding, display list. Display list you know, picking also you know. Now we'll see those topic in brief. Rubber banding we'll see in detail. So what is picking? You have any graphic device, you have to pick some object from the graphic device. How to pick? See, you are touching some area. How to measure this is the area or this is the object you want to pick? That is picking, correct? Rubber banding means continuous operation you want to give. For example, you are giving a touch 1, touch 2, touch 3. All touch 3 touches should be taken as input, or more than 3 touches, continuous touches you want to give. That is rubber banding. We'll see. Display list you know, a small list will be created to develop a big model. So first one is picking. Picking, already we have discussed about picking. Picking means in any graphic device you want to pick one object, pick one image. How to apply picking concept? How to apply picking concept? I'll touch one area, that area color. There are two methods, object or pixel I can identify. Which object I am picking or which color I am picking. Based on my touch, the accurate position cannot be measured. So we can draw an imaginary rectangle, based on that we can pick. Now we'll see the slide, you will understand. It identifies user-defined object on the display. Out of many objects, you are identifying one object by using picking. So in principle, logically we'll see, it should be simple, because the mouse gives the position and we should be able to determine to which object position correspond. Using mouse it is very simple. Graphics you are implementing with mouse means exact position can be measured. But in a touch screen panel, how to measure exact position? Only nearby position you can touch. So based on the nearby position, the maximum area covered, that belongs to which object? That object will be picked. What are the practical difficulties in this? It does not support pipelining. Pipelining means what? When you are doing operation 1, third operation also can be done parallelly. When you are doing second operation, fourth operation can be done parallelly. So in a pipeline, parallel operation can be done. So picking does not support much in pipelining. So depending on the pick operation, you can define the pipelining. So pipeline architecture is feed forward. It is hard to go from screen back to world, screen coordinate to world coordinate. It is complicated by screen being 2D, world is 3D. See the last one. How close do we have to come to the object to say we selected it? How to come? See, in your iPad, suppose you are touching one area. How the iPad program will exactly identify you have touched this object? How? We'll see the next slides. There are three approaches we have. One is hit list. What is hit list? The most general approach but most difficult to implement. We'll see how to implement. We can use two buffering. We know already double buffering, right? Front buffering and back buffering. We'll use two buffering. From the screen, most of the objects will be stored in back and the remaining objects will be stored in front. And front and back buffer objects are not near objects. So when user touch, based on the buffering, we can identify the user is selecting the object from which buffer. So we are using back buffer and front buffer to store the object ID as the objects are rendered. This is one approach. Rectangular map. So based on the touch, you can identify the user is selecting particular object because either front buffer or back buffer will be active during that touch. Rectangular map, it is easy to implement for many application. See Paint program. Based on my touch, I can draw one small rectangle. Which objects covering more inside that rectangle? So that is rectangular map. Now what is rendering mode? There are three type of rendering mode we have. How to call this mode? GL render mode. So these are the three mode: GL render, GL feedback, GL selection. So what is this mode? Where we are using GL render mode, you see. Normal rendering to the frame buffer. This is the normally we are doing the rendering option. When you touch an iPad, when you touch a touchscreen panel, from that the selection will be taken and input is passed. That is default mode, GL render mode. Feedback mode. It provides list of primitive rendered but no output to the frame buffer. You have many small objects and you are touching on those touching area. Inside that rectangle, how many objects are coming? Those all parameter will be given to the frame buffer. That is feedback, GL feedback. It is not identifying you are selecting a particular object. Out of many objects, depending on the buffer assumption, front or back, we can go to the result. What is GL selection mode? You know about view volume, parallel view volume and perspective view volume, correct? In perspective or parallel view volume, one by one you have to draw the object. First you draw a line, then you apply color, then you apply size. Like that one by one we are applying, right? So based on a selection mode, you can pick the object. Let us see the selection mode functions. GL select buffer, specify the name of the buffer, GL init name, push name, pop name, load name. I would like to recall push matrix and pop matrix. How we use push matrix and pop matrix? Assume that you want to create one scene, a room. How to draw a room in graphics software? First you have to construct a wall 1, wall 2, wall 3. Then you have to draw the table. You translate the table to the middle of the room. Then you take one teacup, draw the teacup, move the teacup to the middle of the room. Like this one by one you have to do the operation, correct? So each and every operation should be done with push matrix and pop matrix. First you create the view volume. In the view volume, first you push wall 1 and translate the wall 1 to a position. Then create wall 2. Translate, wall 3, translate, create table, translate, or sometime rotate. All these things will be done in separate push and pop matrix. So these are the selection mode function. Like push pop matrix, we have push name and pop name. So ID is set by application program to identify the objects. How to use this selection mode? First we should initialize the buffer. From many object, partially you assign to front buffer and partially you assign to back buffer, name of the buffer. And then you give the selection mode. Out of three mode, feedback, selection, render mode, which mode we want to use, that selection mode you assign. Third is render the scene with user defined identifier. Now you apply your OpenGL logic. Render, re-enter, normal, render mode, examine the content of name buffer, hit list. So you may play a game through using your mobile. You are moving a car image or some other image. So if it is assigned with back buffer, in back buffer how many objects are assigned? and my touch is near to which object. Based on that, the picking or the selection will be identified. So these are the three modes, selection mode we have used with picking. Now let us conclude. As we just described it, selection mode won't work for picking because every primitive in the view volume will generate a hit. Change the view parameter so that only those parameters near the cursor will alter the view volume. So by using GLU pick matrix, we can pick the object. Picking already we have discussed. This is the rectangle region. Assume that many objects are drawn, one square, one rectangle, one circle. You touch the area. In your touch area, which objects have more pixels? Program will return that pixel as the output. We can use buffer like front buffer, back buffer. You can use color buffer also. Assume you have some 10 objects in your mini project. 5 objects you assign to one color buffer and 3 objects you assign to another color buffer. Remaining 2 objects you assign to another color buffer. So based on the hit touch area, the touch is near to which color buffer, you can identify the selection. Writing mode. So you see this gate source is the read pixel, destination we are writing the pixel, that is in a frame buffer, bitwise AND. Assume that what do you mean by red color? 100 is red color, correct? RGB. Now assume that we are using a 8-bit operating system. So 1 will be represented as 8 ones. Then 0 will be represented as 8 zeros. And other 0 will be represented as 8 0. So 8 1, 8 0, 8 0. That is red color, right? Now I am touching an area. That belongs to which color buffer? That will be ANDed. Here AND gate we are using from the source A. The touch D, read pixel is ANDed, and the resultant pixel will be drawn in the frame buffer. You don't worry about this result. This is one type of picking operation using AND gate. AND gate is not successful one. It is supported in few applications. I repeat, red color will be represented with 8 bits. It means 100, 8 ones, 8 zeros and again 8 zeros. I am touching an area that belongs to say yellow color. So the yellow color 8-bit will be ANDed with red color 8-bit. There will be a new color. Even though the user wants to select a color, the selected color may not come. Because of AND operation, a different color will come as a selection. XOR write. So the next topic is XOR write. Just now we have seen AND gate. What about XOR gate? What is the input output of XOR gate? You remember, if 1 1, if you give as a input in XOR gate, the result is 1. 0 0 you give 1. If any 1 is changed, then the result is low, 0. For 1 1 it is 1, for 0 0 also it is 1. The other value if you give, the result will be 0. That is XOR mode. XOR mode, where we are using XOR mode? Here in OpenGL, for color change we are using XOR mode. Assume that you are drawing a line with red color. So 1 0 0. Now all this 1 0 0 will be represented in bit, 8 bit. So 1 will be represented 8 1 bits, then 8 0 bits, again 8 0 bits. Now the user is passing one more color. It means he is selecting a color, so automatically program should understand the user is selecting second color. The second color will be XORed with the first color. What is the resultant color? Resultant color may not be displayed as the user's option. After applying with XOR, a new color will be generated. That is explained here. Usual mode, sources replaces the destination, D dash equal to S. You see the exclusive or XOR mode, D dash equal to D XOR S. So destination and source. I repeat, XOR mode is a type of operation helping for picking operation or interactive programming operation. In website you have suppose file link. Out of file link you are selecting one link. You want to mark that link is selected already. So you want to change the color of the link. So by using XOR you can change the color. So OpenGL will help you using XOR gate. Next is rubber banding. What is rubber banding? Assume that you are playing a game. There are some 6 objects are there in a game. First you are selecting object 1. Then you are changing your mind, you are selecting object 2. Then you are changing your mind, then you are selecting object 3, 4, 5, 6. You are selecting 6th object. But before selecting 6th object, you have opted 5 options, right? You did not select, but still you opted, right? So from programming end, I want to know or I want to learn the user has selected how many objects or which and all objects he has considered. That is called rubber banding. So from object 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you ended up with 6. The 6th object you have selected. That is called rubber banding. So draw the object. You see the slide. For line we can first mouse click to fix one endpoint and then use motion callback. You have done one click, then you have not given the second click. Simply you are dragging. That is motion callback to continuously update the second endpoint. You may not end with second endpoint. You may continue with third, fourth, fifth, like that. So each time mouse is moved, redraw the line which erases it and then draw the line from the fixed first position to the new second position. At the end, switch back to the normal drawing mode and draw line. So this rubber banding technique will be applied with our selection mode. 3 modes we have. By selecting the 3 mode, you may track all the possible click user has done or only the last click what user has done, like that. So it works for other objects, rectangle and circle. The given explanation is only for line, but it can be done for rectangle and circles. You see this? Initially one small square with circle you have. Okay, you are drawing a line. First you are drawing line exactly on the middle. Draw a line with mouse. This is XOR mode. How XOR mode? That red color line and green color background will be XOR'd here. XOR operation is done here. Then mouse moved to the original line, redrawn. The new position is drawn with XOR also drawn, and the last image you see. The last image is your final image, but first you tried in the middle, then something you did, then something you did, finally you have ended with that line. So what happened to this previous operation? That is called rubber banding technique. By using selection mode, either you can select all the rubber banding click or only the final click. XOR in OpenGL, that we'll see next class. Thank you.